The X-Files meets John Carpenter's The Thing. Ice is the 8th episode of the first season of this awesome sci-fi show, and after a few dozen of episodes, it gets things back on track with this episode, Ice. This episode takes Mulder and Scully, along with a group of scientists, to an Arctic research station where the crew of the Arctic Ice Core project have all mysteriously died. Their final transmission made its way to the basement office of Mulder, and it does not take much for him to be convinced that this case is worth checking out. The only living creature left at the research site is a dog, who is not reacting friendly towards them. The dog attacks them, and they soon discover that the dog was carrying an infectious worm. This worm causes the host to become violent, and they believe it is responsible for the death of the previous research crew. The question now is, could they themselves now be affected, and if so, how do they survive from going crazy and murdering each other? As you can tell, this story, like The Thing, puts a group of people together in a remote facility, surrounded by snow and ice, with an entity around them that causes paranoia and the group to not trust each other, making them ultimately turn on one another. It even goes so far that at one point even Mulder and Scully doesn't trust each other either. This episode has been praised by fans of the show and even the cast and crew involved with it, marking it as the episode where they finally got the show right and nailed everything. It's easy to see why, as the characters gets enough stuff to deal with, director David Nutter is able to create and keep a feel of tension throughout it, and the guest actors, consisting of Xander Berkeley, Felicity Huffman, Steve Heitner, and Jeff Kober, all deliver good performances. I myself, however, have never been that big of a fan of it. The fact that it takes very much inspiration from The Thing was noticeable for me even at a young age when the show first was shown on television, as I saw and loved The Thing at a way too early age. The paranoia is interesting, and seeing Mulder and Scully at this point start to second guess each other work quite well. I also enjoy the fact that it deals with the idea that there are more underneath our own Earth than what we might be familiar with. Not everything that is hidden should be found, and the parasite in this episode is a good example of exactly that. One annoying part of the film is the poor CGI effects of the worm. I guess it is sort of excusable considering the time period it was made in, but it really stands out here. The practical effects of the worm underneath the skin on the people, however, was quite cool. A little fun fact is that the dog in this episode was actually David Duchovny's real-life dog at that time. Director Nutter would go on to become a regular director of the first 3 seasons of The X-Files. Other than this one, he also did Beyond the Sea, Lazarus, Shapes, Tombs, and Roland from the first season, and 10 more episodes in total that were spread out throughout the 2nd and 3rd season. He has also done quite good for himself in television, even becoming a regular director on Game of Thrones in the last years. He's also done a few genre films including Transfers 4 and perhaps more known, Disturbing Behavior. Ice brings the show back on track after a few poor episodes. This is a fan favorite, but I'm a bit more lukewarm on it. It's undeniably solid though, so Ice gets a 3 out of 5 X's from me. So what does the X-Files fans of YouTube think of Ice? Let me know in the comment section below, and look out for my review of episode 9, Space, coming to this channel in the near future. Thank you for watching, and keep watching the skies.